Greetings, fellow detectives. Wizard Kitten here, bringing you the 9th video in our walkthrough for Nancy Drew, the White Wolf of Icicle Creek. We were just about to head outside and use our fancy new snowshoes at Avalanche Ridge, but I think we should go beat Freddy at a snowball fight and get a few more toasty whatchamacallits.
How dare you trespass here? You shall pay for your insolence.
Hey, we're doing pretty good this time. She hasn't gotten us once. Take that.
Incoming!
I feel like I should get double for that. Aha! Okay, we need to follow Yanni's ski tracks, which I think were these ones, to bring us to Avalanche Ridge. Now that we have snowshoes. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's put on our snowshoes. Perfect, we can see them in our little icon here. And we're safe. Scary. What is this? 2 vertebrae employed as furniture. Petrified. Wings for muscle attachment missing. Otherwise in excellent condition. Money. Possible argent. Honuncleus? Or new species? Owner clueless. Says came with lodge. Probably excavated by builder. Daniel Weissnitz, aka Trapper Dan. Foot search of immediate vicinity. Private property yield 0.
It is really possible sauropod scapula. Take to lab for precise ID.
Must figure out how to look for and excavate other specimens in secret. Potential gold mine. Oh, so someone's looking for dinosaur bones. We should use one of our toasty packs so Nancy doesn't freeze. What do we have here?
Looks like some kind of house. Could someone be living there? Hello? Is anyone here? Doesn't sound like it.
Oh, and you know what? We had this note that looks like a combination because the numbers are reversed. So 7, 9, 1, 4. They're all back to back. So let's see if maybe that's a combination. 7.
If I don't get warm soon, I may not make it.
That's why I'm trying to get you in. Oh, it worked. Okay, that's better. Nancy's warm now. What's over here? Ooh, good, more toasty packs. What is this? 334-555-7625.
Wonder what this is. Looks like there's a phone number on it.
Yeah, we'll have to investigate that. What is this place? Anything else over here? Sticks, it looks like. Some sort of bed.
This indentation looks just like the one on that plaque in the lodge where that missing Rex bone used to be.
Yeah, that's weird. So, do you use it to open up this wall here where there's clearly an indentation, which clearly means there's a door? What is this? There's like a hole. We look at stuff. Oh, there's some more toasty packs. Diary.
The Rest of My Life by Julius McQuaid.
I picked this diary up in Winnipeg on a whim. Maybe I'll write in it, maybe I won't. Now that Now that I'm through at Brill Labs and through with work in general, I don't have to do anything I don't want to. Maybe I'll miss people so much that I'll feel like I have to write to someone, even if it's just myself, or maybe not. Probably not. I'm tired of people, tired of writing things down, tired of feeling as caged as the animals I spent 40 years working with. In 3 hours, the train will reach Edmonton. Maybe I'll get off. Maybe I won't. Hello, freedom. I woke up in my tent to the sound of distant gunshots this morning, and later I found a wolf pup all by herself stuck in a bunch of brambles. I figured the hunters had gotten her mother, since she was nowhere around, and since there was no way the pup was ever going to extricate herself, I started chopping through the brambles to free her. It took me a while, though, and I was talking to her all the time, trying to keep her from struggling and hurting herself. So what I was really doing without meaning to was imprinting my voice and my scent on her brain, because at first she went racing off, but then later I noticed that she was following me. Even now, she's sitting about 20 yards away despite my campfire, just watching me. I haven't fed her. I avoided touching her while I was cutting her free from the brambles, yet she's there. So, since this could be the beginning of an interesting relationship, I thought maybe I should take some notes. Old habits are indeed hard to break. The pup, whose coat is pure white, still shadows me wherever I go. Every day she narrows the distance between us, which has been reduced to about 20 feet. If I get any closer, she runs, but she always comes back. The pup, which I've been calling Isis, now keeps no less than 7 feet between us at all times, a distance with which I am happy as well. I've watched her hunt for food, have seen what she can do with her teeth and jaws, and have no desire to ever encounter either on a personal basis. I have resisted the urge to feed her or to make her in any way dependent upon me. But I do talk to her. I can't help myself. I've discovered that talking is a very basic human need. Why Isis listens, I don't know, but she does, of that I'm certain. Snow has begun to fall, so I've moved into an abandoned storage hut that I found. It's a little too close to what used to be an old hunting lodge for my tastes, but beggars can't be choosers. As winter sets in and I venture outside less and less, I expect that Isis will soon abandon her vigil and make a full return to the wild. I will miss her strange companionship, but that's how it should be. When I woke up this morning, I was shocked to discover that Isis had found a way into the shack and was lying not 3 feet away from me. She woke up the instant I did. We stared at each other, then she put her head down and went back to sleep. Apparently she trusts me, or maybe wants me to trust her. In any case, this is truly uncharted territory for me, but the urge to explore it is irresistible. Like it or not, Isis has become my pet, or I have become hers. I'm not at all sure which. While she is never underfoot, preferring to remain at least 3 feet away from me most of the time, she does permit and occasionally seeks out a friendly pat or two on the head and shoulders. Although unlike most dogs, she doesn't seem to consider my touch to be any kind of reward. In fact, I sometimes feel that by letting me pet her, she's rewarding me. With the coming of spring, I fully expect Isis to take off one day and never return. But so far that hasn't happened. She disappears for hours at a time, no doubt to hunt, but for some reason she always returns. Last night a wolf started howling in the distance. Isis sat bolt upright and listened so hard she was shaking. But when the howling ended after a moment, she lay back down and went back to sleep. And I suddenly realized that she's not going to leave, ever. It was either the wilderness or me, and incredibly, she chose me. Isis is by far the smartest animal I have ever seen. By watching her carefully and
So once I get her attention by saying her name, I can give her commands.
Reinforcing specific actions with specific words, I can get her to perform those actions on command. For instance, whenever I saw her lie down, I'd say down, and now when I say down, she lies down. Here's a list of the commands I've taught her, quote unquote. Quite a few. I can give Isis not just one command, but many commands chained in a row, and she'll carry them out, one by one in order. I start such a chain of commands by saying Isis, and I end the chain by saying go. For instance, if I want her to move forward, then lie down, then turn to her right, then bark, then turn to her left, then turn around and come back, I say Isis, forward, down, right, bark, left, turn, around, go. And she does it. She won't even attempt to follow a command that makes no sense to her. She's truly amazing. None of those commands should make sense to her. Why are you asking her to turn in random directions? That's weird. I set up a maze and had Isis navigate it by giving her a chain of commands, and she did it. She did it several times, in fact, with the maze set up differently each time. Moreover, when she's following commands I've given her, she tends to retrieve any strange object she may come across in the process. Like today, she came out of the maze holding an old sock, which she promptly dropped at my feet. It was like she was glad I was keeping her busy, and she was saying thanks.
Ability to sort objects by scent. If she has an object in her mouth, she'll sniff, then drop the object near another object that has the same scent.
Spent the winter refining Isis's ability to sort objects by scent. If she has an object in her mouth, she'll sniff, then drop the object near another object that has the same scent. She'd make an incredible police dog. After all, she could retrieve a clue, then figure out who left it by picking the matching scent out of a lineup of suspects' belongings. Matlock would have had a field day with her. Note to self, never ever ever feed Isis, especially by hand. Today a rat got into my pantry in the shack. I managed to grab it by the tail and was in the process of flinging it outside when Isis appeared out of nowhere, leaped up and snapped the rat right out of my grasp, missing my fingers by millimeters. I simply cannot allow myself to ever forget this one fact. Isis is by nature a wild animal. A freak snowstorm caught me by surprise yesterday afternoon. It was sunny and warm 1 minute, next minute it was clouding up and the temperature was plummeting, and the next minute it was snowing so hard I couldn't see a thing. All I had on was a light jacket, and after wandering around blindly, getting more and more wet and lost and exhausted, I finally sat down, figuring I was done for. And then all of a sudden Isis appeared, dragging something with her mouth. It was my heavy coat, so I put it on, sat there till the storm let up, then followed Isis back to the shack. She saved my life, I'm sure of it. I've had a fever and a bad cough for about 2 weeks now, and this morning I felt so awful that I almost couldn't get out of bed. So I'm going to hike out to the road while I still have the strength and hitch a ride to Pinevale Hospital. Hopefully they'll give me some antibiotics.
Pinevale Hospital. Maybe I can use Isis and her incredible sense of smell to figure out who owns the notebook I found outside. All I have to do is get something from each of the people at the lodge, something that each of them has touched, then let Isis figure out which of their scents matches the scent on the notebook.
And send me on my way before Isis starts to wonder where I've gone. The possibility that she would think I've abandoned her just breaks my heart. She has come to mean the world to me. Oh, but he never returned.
Isis, stay.
I found her. So that's the wolf, apparently. And she does listen to commands, even if they're coming from me. Let's see here. I feel like that is a can from something. And I was just looking at my notes to see if that was actually like a can from something, a cookie, but I can't find it for sure. Interesting. Okay, anyway, we could probably talk to Isis. We could give her commands.
Paw, right, around, bark. Isis, paw, right, around, bark, go.
Does that not make sense to you? Oh. Do wolves bark like that? Okay, cool. Isis trusts us. Let's turn our back to her now. Weird. Okay, well, we found this cool little shack, so I guess we should head back now. Whoa. What was that? Good thing we're not too cold yet. Walking along through the snow. It's so interesting. We better make it all the way back. I feel like we have people to inform about this, you know? And we also need to get stuff from everybody so we can, get their scent and see who owned that book. Because whoever it is would have a motive for messing things up for Chantal.
I feel warmer already.
Who we should probably check in with. Okay, so let's call Chantal first. Oh, actually, we could call Pinevale Hospital. That's where that guy that wrote the journal went.
Sunnydale Hospital, Nurse Blake speaking.
Hi, my name's Nancy Drew. I'm trying to locate a man named Julius McQuaid. I think he may have been treated there on Christmas Eve.
Oh, yes, Julius McQuaid. I remember him well. Was he a relative, dear?
Was? You mean he passed away?
Yes, dear. Viral pneumonia. As I recall, we admitted him and he was gone less than 24 hours later.
Well, I wasn't a relative and I didn't really know him. We had kind of a mutual friend.
From his appearance, it looked as if he'd spent the last several years holed up somewhere in the wilderness. That's why I remember him. I felt sorry for him, living all alone like that.
Actually, he wasn't alone. He was with our mutual friend.
Well, that's good to hear.
Do you still have his personal effects?
When he came in, all he had were the clothes on his back. No wallet, nothing. We turned his clothes over to the authorities along with his remains. But last I heard, they weren't able to locate any relatives either. I'm sure by now he's been cremated.
Well, thank you for the information.
Sorry the news couldn't have been better. Goodbye, dear.
That's sad. He must have felt awful leaving Isis behind.
Hello?
Hi, Chantal. I finished that survey and faxed it to Tino.
I know. I was a little disappointed to hear that it had failed to pinpoint the culprit, but Tino said he's still analyzing the data, whatever that means. Anyway, what else is going on?
Did Ollie tell you that Guadalupe Comillo checked out?
Yes, he told me.
Did he tell you he pretty much threw her out?
Well, good riddance, right? I mean, he said she was an environmental nut job. In fact, he said he wouldn't be surprised if she's the one who caused those accidents and blew up the bunkhouse.
I don't think so.
You don't? I was hoping I could tell my lawyers that the case is closed and come home.
I still have to come up with proof.
Oh, that. Well, the lodge is probably better off without her in any case. Although she did pay for her stay in advance, and in cash. Cash is good. Oh well. Anything else to report?
Did you know that Ollie is building a trap to catch the wolf that's been hanging around?
No, but he told me he'd been having trouble shooting it, so good for him. Whatever it takes to get rid of it.
But why does he need to get rid of it? It's not hurting anything.
It's freaking out my guests, which means it's hurting my bottom line, especially on top of everything else that's been happening.
But why not, say, call a wolf sanctuary and have them come and take the wolf away? That would certainly be more humane.
Look, Ollie's had a lot of experience with varmints or whatever he calls them, so I have to assume that he knows best. In fact, I think he used to hunt wolves for food. Or was that bears? Lions, tigers, bears, wolves, they're all a huge insurance risk for someone in my business. So I don't care how Ollie does it. I just want that wolf gone. ASAP.
That sounds very nice.
That's it for now.
I have to get going too. Bye.
Okay, well, let's make one more phone call. Let's call that number that we saw on the... on that, thingamabobber. This thingamabobber. 334-555-7625. Let's see what that's about.
You've reached the office of Dr. Nikki Sabatini, Professor of Geology at the University of Alberta, Camrose. The sound of the beep? No, disregard all that. I'm here. Who's this?
My name is Nancy Drew. I'm staying at the Icicle Creek Lodge, and I recently came across some kind of device that had your phone number on it.
Describe the device.
Well, it has a spike on one end of it, and...
Well, I'll be darned. Where did you say you found it?
Well, actually, someone's dog was using it as a chew toy. She must have found it outside somewhere. You know what it is?
It's a geophone. Someone stole a whole crate of them from me when I was out on Skookum Ridge not too long ago.
What's a geophone?
If you stick it in the ground, a geophone will detect seismic waves and turn them into electrical signals, which are then transmitted to a computer so they can be recorded and eventually interpreted. It lets geologists like me make maps of mineral deposits and such without doing any digging. See, I was preparing to do a subsurface survey survey of the area using reflection seismology. I set up camp, stored all my equipment in a trailer, went into town for supplies, and when I came back, the trailer had been broken into, and all my geophones were gone. I was gonna be the first person to do a full geological survey of the Icicle Creek drainage and the ridges surrounding it. Got grant money and everything. The person who ripped off my equipment sure screwed that up for me. If I ever get my hands on him, oh!
You have no idea who it was?
It was snowing, so there were no tracks. So I don't know if he came by car or snowmobile or on foot or what. I'm assuming it was a guy, because he only took the geophones, so he must have known what they were and how to use them. And since not that many women are into explosives...
Explosives?
The seismic waves that geophones detect are man-made. You detonate something on the surface of the ground, and the concussion creates seismic waves which bounce off different geological features differently, depending on the impedance of the feature. The reflected waves are what the geophones detect and transmit.
So, to put the geophones to use, you need to blow things up?
Correct.
That's interesting. So, if someone were looking for valuable mineral deposits, they might use geophones to do it?
If someone had the technical expertise, yes. Although reflection seismology is more typically employed to locate deposits of hydrocarbons, like oil and gas.
What types of mineral deposits are likely to be found around the Icicle Creek drainage?
All kinds of deposits. Silver, lead, uranium, molybdenum. I love saying that word, molybdenum. I think that's why I became a geologist. Just so I'd have a reason to say molybdenum. Anyway, if you come across any more of my geophones, or anything that would indicate who stole them, please, please, please let me know.
I will.
Good.
What do you know about dinosaur bones?
Precious little, I'm afraid. I know it's possible to find good specimens in Alberta, particularly in your area, but beyond that, paleontology's not really my thing. And all my paleo pals are currently off digging in the dirt on the other side of the world, so I'm afraid I can't refer you to anyone either.
Are dinosaur bones good for anything?
Other than studying? If you're a scientist, no. But because they're obviously rare, a lot of people collect them. In fact, I understand there's a pretty big black market for them.
Black market? You mean people pay money for dinosaur bones?
People pay big money for them.
I appreciate your taking the time to talk to me.
One more thing. All of my geophones were hardwired to transmit at 990 kilohertz. So if you find any kind of receiver tuned to that frequency, check it out, because it could very well belong to the thief. Bye!
Interesting. Alright, well, I'm going to leave this part right here, fellow detectives. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.